Edwards, you're here to solve a 20-year mystery and prove that the defendant fathered your daughter, Brianne, who is joining us from her hometown. You say you are tired of his denial and hope to prove your case today. You are here supported by your older daughter, Caitlin. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Morris, you claim that you've always known that another man is Brianne's biological father, and you are here to set the record straight. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
So, Mr. Morris, what was the nature of your relationship with the plaintiff before she got pregnant?
Years ago, I run a little garage in a small town, and her husband, I got to know him, and we wound up getting threesome in my backyard. And
a threesome in the backyard?
In the field behind my house, yes.
A threesome in the backyard?
Yeah.
With your friend's wife?
Yes, ma'am.
A threesome in the backyard with your friend's wife. I just digested that. Now, how often were you having these threesomes?
We done it a couple times, and then I kind of moved off to another county, and things went on. But back then, if you wore panties and opened up, drop them, I got me some. I mean, that's
Oh, Lord.
Yes, he did.
He said that.
Yes, he did.
Well, you didn't come here to lie, did you?
No, ma'am.
I know that's right. Go ahead and tell the truth. Shame the devil.
Right?
So, Mr. Morris, did you ever find out Miss Edwards was pregnant when, because you say you moved on.
Yes, ma'am. Sometime later I did.
How did you find out?
They come to where I had moved to and told me that she was pregnant.
So they came and saw you in person?
Yes.
And said, we have something to tell you?
Yes, they were coming to my house on the weekends sometimes.
Oh, for more threesomes?
Pretty much.
Small town.
So, Miss Edwards, you went through the whole pregnancy. Did you tell your husband this could potentially be Mr. Morris's child, that you thought it could?
No, Your Honor, I did not. I thought it was my husband's all along.
At what point did you decide that it could be Mr. Morris's?
When she was born, I was on the operating table, and they brought her around the curtain. And as soon as I seen her, I knew she was Wayne's Dan because she had his forehead.
No.
And she was born with a cleft.
No.
When you birthed the baby, you say they brought her from around the curtain after they got her.
Right.
She bent that corner and you said, there goes Mr. Morris.
I said, uh-oh. Yeah.
You
And
said,
I told him
uh-oh?
the net- Yeah, right.
That was your reaction
Yes, Your Honor.
to your new baby?
Yes, Your Honor.
And then what did you say to your husband?
I didn't tell him till the next day that it was possibly not his.
And what does he say?
He said, she's mine, she just looks like you.
Did you tell him you think it could be Mr. Morris's?
Yes. As the time went by, I decided to let him know that he was the father.
So, Mr. Morris, do you remember that day?
Pretty close.
What happened?
The first time that I was told she could be mine was the one that Brianne was around a year old, I think. Pretty sure of that.
Oh, so they come and tell you she's pregnant, but they don't ever let on to the fact that it could be yours.
No, not then.
So how did Miss Edwards tell you specifically that she thought you were Brianne's biological
I don't
father?
remember exactly how she said it, but I didn't think so because none of my children was ever born with a clipped lip. And nobody in my family as well.
So, Miss Edwards, but when you said you saw Brianne and she had the cleft palate, you thought immediately it was Mr. Morris's.
Exactly, Your Honor. The reason I thought he was, or knew that he was the father, was because he had mentioned to me at one point in time that he had a rare blood, and that the mother of his children had to have shots whenever they were pregnant.
Why, or else what?
The baby would be born with a birth defect.
Your Honor.
Oh. So, did you tell Miss Edwards, Mr. Morris, that The other mothers of your children had to have shots because of your rare blood?
Yes, I did, Your Honor.
To avoid the baby having birth defects?
I don't know what the shot was for, but all of my children were perfectly healthy.
But were you ever told that these shots were necessary to avoid birth defects because of your blood type?
No, I wasn't never told no. I mean, I do know the mothers had a shot, except...
So you are aware that they were given those shots?
Yes, except my little boy...
So, Ms. Edwards, it's your testimony, because you knew this, you felt that because Brianne was born with the cleft palate that you didn't get the shot, and so therefore, this is why this occurred, and that leads you to believe Mr. Morris is her biological father.
Yes, Your Honor, it does.
All right, I want to hear from Brianne. She's joining us now from her hometown. Brianne, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
If you want more episodes of Paternity Court, make sure to subscribe and click on the notification bell. Brianne, growing up, did you know that your mother doubted your paternity? Did you know that Mr. Morris could potentially be your biological father?
Yes, ma'am. Growing up, I was told by my mother and family that Mr. Morris was my father.
But what about her husband?
They had always told me that he wasn't my father and that I had a different father than my siblings.
From birth, you say they just told you Mr. Morris is your biological father?
Yes, ma'am.
So you felt like you were just being honest from the beginning?
Yes, Your Honor, I was. She needed to know.
And so did you have a relationship with Mr. Morris?
No, ma'am, not really. Not from what I recall.
Caitlin, I want to ask you, did you grow up with the understanding that your sister Brianne had a different biological father?
Yes, I did, Your Honor.
And you always knew it was Mr. Morris as well?
I did. I have a birthmark on the back of my head, and my sister does not have a birthmark. And my other siblings had the same exact birthmark, as well as my children. And Brianne does not look like me. I feel like she looks like Wayne's girls.
No.
And I've just never felt like she was related to me other than through my mother, because she just doesn't look like us.
And so it's always been an understanding with your siblings that Brianne had a different father.
Yes, Your Honor.
So, Mr. Morris, your wife is here. I'd like to hear from her. Please stand, ma'am.
Your Honor,
Yes, ma'am.
all of our children have some kind of resemblance to my husband. My husband has 7 children. Every one of them have some kind of feature of his, whether it be eyes, walk, talk, something. Even his smart mouth. Brianne, she doesn't have that. None of our children are shy.
What are you holding?
I'm holding evidence of 2 of our daughters
I'd like to see that. Jerome, will you hand it to me, please?
Thank you.
that shows that Brianne looks nothing like neither one of our daughters.
Thank you. So this is a split screen of 2 of Mr. Morris's daughters, Brianne in the middle.
Yes, ma'am. And as you see, I mean, they have some kind of feature of him in some sort of way. Brianne has none of that. I mean, our girls have his nose, his lazy eye, his forehead. And our girls are very outspoken, not shy. Like I said, they're not shy.
But Miss Edwards, you believe the fact that you were even told by Mr. Morris that mothers of his children had to have a shot to prevent potential birth defects because of his rare blood further indicates that he really is your daughter's biological father.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Well, we wanted to learn more about these medical issues that we've discussed. Now, at this time, Jerome, would you please escort Dr. Frida Fisher into the courtroom?
Yes, Your Honor.
I'd like to ask her a few questions.
We're going to go right up to the witness stand next to the judge. Watch your step going.
Hello, Dr. Fisher. Thank you so much for joining us.
Oh, thank you.
We have had a very interesting time today discussing some complex testimony given by Mr. Morris. Ms. Edwards also testified that 2 of his children's mothers have had to have some type of injection before they gave birth to prevent birth defects because of his blood type or rare blood qualities. Do you understand what this is, and can you explain it to this court?
Well, there is something called the RH factor.
Okay.
The RH factor is a protein that's found on red blood cells in the blood. When a mother does not have the RH factor, she is considered to be RH negative. If an RH negative mother has a baby who is RH positive, that mother can actually develop antibodies against her own unborn baby's blood. So the RH negative mother can attack her own unborn baby, and this can cause disease.
And then what does that have to do with the father's blood?
Well, the only way that an RH negative mother can have an RH positive baby is if the father's blood is RH positive.
Okay. And so, Mr. Morris, have you ever been told that your blood was RH positive?
I was told it was A positive. I don't know nothing about the RH, the other stuff.
That means he also has the RH factor, so he's RH positive.
He thinks.
Okay. And with their 2 blood types, RH positive, RH negative, could they produce a child that potentially had a birth defect?
An RH positive father with an RH negative mother can have a child who is RH positive. And if the mother does not receive the shot, the RH immune globulin, she can develop antibodies that attack that baby and cause disease. But it has not been shown to cause birth defects, like a cleft palate.
All right. Now, after hearing the doctor's testimony and understanding now that Brianne's cleft palate was not caused because Mr. Morris was RH positive and you are RH negative, do you still believe Mr. Morris is your child's biological father?
Yes, Your Honor.
That doesn't change your mind in any way?
No, it doesn't. I mean, there's no other possibility.
So, Mr. Morris,
Yes, ma'am.
after hearing this testimony, have your thoughts changed? Has your position changed?
No, ma'am.
You do not think you're Brianne's biological father?
No, ma'am, I don't.
And what are your hopes? I mean, if you are you hoping that you are, but you don't think you are? What are your hopes today?
If I am, I will hope to be a father figure in her life and her be a daughter figure.
With that said, I think it's time we get these results. Thank you, Jerome. Brianne?
Yes, ma'am.
Before I read these results, what are you hoping for today?
I'm hoping to find out who my father is so I can be able to answer questions at the doctor's and know my background, medical history, and to possibly have a bond with whoever happens to be my father.
So these results are more important than ever to this young girl, and I want you to get them right now. Are you ready, Brianne?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. These results were prepared by DNA Diagnostics, and they read as follows. In the case of Edwards versus Morris, when it comes to 20-year-old Brianne, it has been determined by this court, Mr. Morris,
Yes, ma'am.
you are the father. Brianne, this is your biological father.
Yes, ma'am.
How does it feel to know for certain now?
Feels pretty good to have answers that I've always needed.
Would you like to have a relationship with Mr. Morris?
Yes, ma'am.
What are you feeling in this moment, Mom?
It was her is the reason I'm here, only her. As I didn't do it for me, I didn't do it for her, I didn't do it for them, I done it for her.
And that's what a mother's love, a parent's love, will propel them to do for their child. You will sacrifice yourself for your child.
Exactly.
And I saw you do that today. So, Mr. Morris, you've got a great opportunity here.
Yes, ma'am.
You've got a new daughter,
Yeah.
and it's time for you to make up, what, 20 years lost time? Miss Sowers, you say your 14-year marriage has been turned upside down by Ms. Roton's claim that your husband fathered her 5-month-old son, Aiden. You claim that Ms. Roton is a home-wrecking harlot, but there is no way your husband fathered her child. Is that correct?
Yes.
Ms. Roton, you stated in your court papers that Ms. Sowers is, quote, a pathetic old lady who can't hang on to her man. Yes, you believe her husband fathered your child, and you intend to prove paternity today. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
So, Ms. Sowers, what do you mean Ms. Roton is a home-wrecking harlot?
Me and Adam have been married for 14 years. She has tried to destroy my marriage. She's tried to put this baby off on Adam, saying it's his baby. She's tried to file child support papers, which I have right here.
That you asked for.
And you know, the strange thing about it is in Horry County. Isn't that something?
It's Horry County.
Horry County.
If you could read, you'd know it was Horry County.
Jerome, let me see those papers.
It's not my fault you couldn't keep your husband.
Thank you.
Horry County.
So these are child support papers filed with the court.
Yes, ma'am.
That Mr. Sowers asked for.
Ms. Roton, just to be clear, you believe Mr. Sowers, a married man, is the father of your son.
I know he is. I have no doubt in my mind, not one. Or I wouldn't be here.
He's not the
months ago,
father,
neither.
and I want the results.
You gonna get him?
Don't cry when you see him, honey.
Ms. Roton, can you tell the court how you got into a relationship with a married man?
Him and my mutual friend stayed the night at my house, and he just decided he didn't want to leave.
So take me to the night this whole thing basically transformed from we have a mutual friend to a sexual relationship. How did we get there?
Well, he was just being charming and like trying to be nice and friendly, extra friendly.
What do you mean by extra friendly?
Like
Making
just,
the couch
like,
look good.
saying I'm beautiful and just all kinds of sweet stuff, like trying to, you know, get in my head.
So wait, he just says a few nice things to you and then you end up having sex with him?
It was a lot more than that.
That's about it.
At this point, did you know he was married?
No.
So your mutual friend just basically comes and says,
He didn't
hey,
tell me that.
He never tells you this guy's married?
No.
Then how often would he come over after that?
Every day.
He was spending the night every day?
Yes, ma'am. Sleeping in my bed.
So, Ms. Sowers, how did you find out about this relationship?
I had a friend up the road that says, your husband is at a girl named Chrissy's house. And I'm like, where's that? And she gave me the location, and his car was there.
So that gives you the right to come in my front door?
Well, I knocked on the door.
You did
They
not?
didn't answer. And I walked in, and the first time I called them, they were on the couch. And I pulled Adam out off the couch and
That's
said,
a
let's
lie.
go. And you ran in the back room.
That's a lie.
No, it's not a
Because
lie.
Adam stayed with me and you left. You
No,
told him
no,
you
he
were
didn't.
done.
He left with
And
me.
he stayed with me like he always did.
He left.
Oh. So, you just chilling out at your house, living your normal life, and someone says,
Normal
you know
life.
your husband's down the street.
Yes, because he was missing a lot. And I wondered where he was.
With me.
Yeah. And he was
Making
at her
babies.
house.
Oh, so he was missing all night?
Well, he would go, he'd leave at certain times of night, and I'd wake up and he wasn't there.
He showed up at my house 3 o'clock in the morning.
So,
Yeah,
he
I
would
did.
show up at your house at 3 a.m.?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, all times of night. Just come in and get in bed with me.
So,
You see why? Look at her.
Sounds like
Let's
an
be
ordeal.
respectful.
I'm just saying.
Let's be respectful. So, Mr. Sowers, what are you thinking as you're on the couch with your mistress and your wife barges in?
Oh, he's
What
quiet.
are you thinking?
Wow.
Yeah, wow. Wow is right, baby. Wow
Highly,
is right.
highly
Wow
blown
is
away
right.
on that
Wait,
tip.
wait.
But,
You were blown away?
yeah, I ain't gonna lie. But me and her were still in a rocky position on relationship, arguing, going back and forth. And,
What'd you tell me after that happened, Adam? That y'all were separated, right?
So then, Ms. Roton, at some point you find out you're pregnant.
Yes, ma'am.
Take me to that time. What happened when you found out?
I felt like sick, like, you know, I didn't feel like myself. So I took a test and I told my best friend, and he was the second person I told. He was very excited. He wanted it to be a boy, and he was very excited. He
Ready
was,
to name them and everything.
Yeah, he was, offers to get me orange juice and
There's
stuff. 'Cause
8
orange juice is
pictures.
really the only thing I could drink.
So, Miss Sowers, how did you find out your husband may have gotten his mistress pregnant?
I drove up, tried to find him. There was his car at her house, as usual. And I opened the door, and he's on one side of the bed, she's on the other, but he's dressed. I'm looking at her, she's in a little tank top. I'm like, are you pregnant? She's like, yes, I'm pregnant.
That's
and
not how it
that's
happened.
Adam's child. And I said, is that true,
not
Adam?
how it happened.
I said, is that true, Adam? He says, I don't know, maybe. I don't know. He didn't.
Did you ever use a
He
condom,
didn't
Adam?
deny, and he didn't. You know, either way, because there were other men involved in this
That's a
situation.
lie.
There were other men
That's a lie.
that she had been sleeping with. 7
That's a lie.
total to be.
I've been with 8 people my entire life, baby. Why don't you state some facts?
Miss Sowers, how did you know she was sleeping with 7 other men?
She doesn't.
Because
She
they
makes-
were all informing me, and everybody had been talking on Facebook.
Yeah, name them. I want to know.
Oh, did you actually see, though? Miss
No.
Sowers, did you actually see her sleeping with
yes,
anybody?
ma'am, I did. One day, I come back to the house, and Adam's car was there. So I walked in again. There was a guy on a couch, another guy on a couch, and that door was closed. Well, when that door was closed, there was something going on in there.
Yeah, it was
so
you and your husband.
I opened the door, and there was a guy on top of her, and I shut the door,
was
and
your
I caught. No, it wasn't my husband.
Yes, it
it
was
was
your
somebody. No, it wasn't.
You've never-
Wait,
And
you
I walked
opened her
out.
bedroom door?
Yes,
ma'am.
I did, because I seen my husband's
What
car
in the
there.
world?
She comes
Well,
to
the
my
door
house,
was
first of
always
all,
open.
unannounced.
I mean,
Second
she
of all,
had
come to my
people coming
bedroom.
in and out like a revolving door.
No, that's a lie.
Miss Roton, you don't believe in locking no doors?
No, I'm in my own house.
This
I
is
mean,
almost unbelievable.
I'm in my own
though.
house. Why should I have to lock my door if I'm in my own house?
I
Not
mean,
some
look,
crazy lady coming to my house.
look, I do not approve of the behavior, but I'm just saying, if you sleeping with somebody's husband, you got to at least lock the door.
They were separated. That's as far as I knew.
Especially when his wife has already decided she
Can come right
gonna
on
walk
in.
on in.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's my husband. I'm gonna claim him. He's
Apparently
gonna
y'all were
come on with
separated at
me.
the time. That's what your husband was telling me.
It don't matter. It is.
All right, so you find out now this young woman is pregnant, and your husband says it might be mine.
Yeah.
Now you say you find out somehow that there are other possibilities, that she's
That's a
been with
lie.
like 7 men.
That's a lie.
Everybody was talking.
Who's everybody?
Well, I have a
I mean, is it family members, friends? Is it people in the town, neighbors?
Well, I had a neighbor, and she claimed that her son was a father, could be a possibility of Chrissy's son also.
That's a lie.
And they had crocheted a little blanket, and it had AMR on it.
Aiden's initials
Aiden Michael Roton, yes.
for the baby.
For the baby.
My
Yeah.
son's named after his dad, by the way.
Who was with you when you gave birth to Aiden?
Adam was there, my mother was there, my sister was there, and my best friend was there. He was in the room with me, right next to me.
Well, where are the
Wait a
pictures
minute,
at?
hold
Yeah.
on. So, Miss Roton, you're saying your married lover was in
He's
the
not my lover.
hospital room with you when you delivered your baby.
Yes, ma'am.
Were you there, Mr. Sowers?
I was there at the end, yes, Your Honor.
So he was there. We don't need no picture, Miss Sowers, when your husband says he was there.
Yeah, he was holding my leg.
Can I
I
tell
went
you
there-
how
I
it
went-
happened? I'll tell you how it went
Were you
down.
there, Sonia?
You called me about 2:30 and said, I'm going into labor. I had told the nurse, I said, we are here. Chrissy said, I don't want her in the room.
You're not welcome in my room.
But you called
You're
me
not
and
the-
told me to
you're not
come
the
to the
father of my
hospital
son.
and
No,
bring
I
you.
didn't.
Oh, wait a minute.
No, I did not.
Your husband's mistress calls you to tell you that his baby with her is on the way.
Yes, because he was at work.
I don't remember calling you.
Well, you did.
It
You
might have been
called
your
me.
husband.
This is incredible.
It is.
Oh, it's incredible.
It's
And
ridiculous.
I mean, it really, it's like a mother and a daughter arguing because that's pretty much the age difference. How
Yeah,
old are
she's
you, Miss
50.
Sowers?
47.
And how old are you, Miss Roton?
22.
And I am just, I mean, to watch you have to argue with a girl over your husband.
Yes.
Maybe you should
But
get your husband on lock, baby.
I mean, this young woman could be your daughter.
Yeah.
She's young enough.
Yeah.
And then you, Miss Roton, to be in this predicament with a married man.
Yeah, I was unaware until I was probably
Yeah, right.
No.
a couple months
Known
pregnant.
me for years.
You never one time used a condom. Never once.
Well, you should have been on the pill.
Don't
you
you know what I
said
should have
you
been
were.
on?
You said you.
You don't have to
should
worry
been
about
on
it.
the
You should have kept
pill.
your husband
I
on
can't
lock,
have
baby.
no kids. I can't have no kids. You don't have to worry about it. That's what I was told specifically.
No,
Miss
it's not.
Sowers,
Never told you that.
Promise
are
to
you
God,
like trying to
strike me
tell
dead.
this young girl that she should have been on the pill and your husband is out
Said
sleeping
she
with her?
was. She said
She
she
said
was.
she was on the pill.
It's all
lied.
It's all been a lie.
Oh, so you're saying, Mr. Sowers, Ms. Roton said to you, don't worry, I'm on the pill.
Never
Yes,
one
Your
time
Honor.
said that.
Strike me down. Honest to
I put
God,
it on my
truth.
son's life. I've never said that.
That's what I was told. You don't have to worry about it.
How this just went on for this long, and it seems like everybody was informed. But it just kept happening. Are you all working on your marriage now, Ms.
We
Sowers?
are doing awesome. We're doing
Thank
better
you.
than
Thank
ever.
God.
You are.
Thank
So,
We're
God.
actually doing really good.
and so now you're back together, trying to get on the right track, stay on the right track, and you're just interested in seeing, is your husband or are you the father of Miss Roton's child?
The town did a poll, and I believe we have some pictures.
The
that we can-
town did a poll.
No,
Yes.
no. Adam's friend did a poll.
I think we have.
Mutual
I
friend that
think we can
introduced
put the
us,
poll
right?
up. I think we can put the poll up, and we'll see who the father is.
Now this is unbelievable.
Yeah, that doesn't even make sense to me. Yeah, that
And
doesn't
guess
even make
what?
sense to me.
The town did a poll.
Yeah.
Where did you see this poll?
Oh, it's all over. It's all over Facebook. The whole. Everybody knows about
It's
everything.
a social media poll.
Yes. And you see, Adam was 12%.
I told him I didn't care. I mean, I know who the father of my son is, so I don't care.
That's
And who is this other guy?
That's the guy I caught her with the day I
He's
went
another
to her
friend
house.
of mine. And that February when
Yeah,
I
he was
moved to my
definitely not
friend's
there.
house from her house, he'd come by and I said, well, hey, man, where you been all night? Well, I just left Chrissy's house. And I was like, wow.
So this other person, this mystery man, told you that he had been and spent the night at Miss Roton's house.
Ironically, around February, beginning of February 7th, 8th, around
But
that
why
area.
are you sleeping with a woman that all your friends are sleeping with too?
Yeah,
I
that's
need
what
my
wanna
head
know.
checked.
That
I
doesn't
mean,
make
you're
sense.
basically suggesting you're having a sexual relationship with a woman who's also sleeping with your friend.
Yep.
Which I wasn't. Yeah, and he
And
knows
I'm not
that.
gonna lie, this is absolutely ridiculous, but I'm mad for Aiden because no baby deserves to have
Thank
Nope.
you.
their face,
Thank you.
their newborn face, up on some social media poll.
Thank you. They think
That-
it's hilarious.
No,
Don't
that's
worry.
ignorant.
No, I
It's
don't.
very stupid. It's
I don't
very
think it's
ignorant and
hilarious,
childish.
But I know what I know.
All right,
Time.
what a mess. You know what? I don't think I
They're
even
my
want to
baby.
hear anymore. Jerome, you know what? I'm looking at this beautiful little boy. All I can say is let's get the results for Aiden.
Yes. Yes. Crazy.
These results were prepared by DNA Diagnostics, and they read as follows. In the case of Sowers versus Roton, when it comes to 5-month-old Aiden Roton. It has been determined by this court, Mr. Sowers, you are the father.
Thank you. Have a nice life. What? Nobody's sleeping around, baby. Go ahead. Go ahead.
That is your little boy.
It sure is.
And the poll was incorrect.
Adam will.
Yep.